Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. The Hidden Hand is the channel. He's only got 1,100 subscribers, but he's made a really good video here. Really detailed, really in depth. The truth, ultimately. So I thought I'd just mention it, to be honest, because he's only got 1,000 subscribers and just share it about him. Even not that I've got loads, but maybe people can pass it on because, yeah, ultimately, this is the truth. This is what's happening. This is the new world order, as we mention it. Yeah, and there's again, this guy's done a lot of research, and ultimately, everything he tells you in this document. I mean, I've watched half of it so far. I don't know if I'll play it all. Just give you a flavour. It's on for 37 minutes. Yeah, he's done a lot of work here. He's done a lot of work. He's done a lot of background work. He's checked his facts here. All these details are correct, and it's the global elite, as we've mentioned many times before. The global elite's plan for the world, the new world order, right? That's what we summarize it as. Rather than this video's 37 minutes long, trying to explain to you what the fuck's going on in the world and how it all works, right? It's took 37 minutes. So, in order to just summarize this plan into a quick fucking sentence here, we call it the New World Order, right? That's what we call it because it's a fucking long, deep, detailed plan. And in order to explain this to you, it's took this guy 37 minutes of detailed information. So, we call it the New World Order, is what we call it, you know what I mean? That's a summary of events here, rather than fucking spending 25 minutes telling you what the fucking crack is here. So, yeah, the New World Order, the global elites, plan for the world, the economy, World War III, fucking all of these things, everything that's happening in the world. It's all about the New World Order. It's all about the future, the global future of the elites, right? This is why all the governments, and this guy will explain this in this video. It's why all the governments are working against the people, again, just the rich people's plan for the world. So it's absolutely undeniable, to be honest. If you deny it, it's because you don't fucking know enough. That's why you're denying it, because you don't know enough about anything at all. So yeah, you're gonna deny it because you don't know fuck all. That's the bottom line here. Again, the reason that most people are stupid and zombies is by design. You can see you do not click on to what the fuck is going on in this world. Well, we're going to tell you. You know what I mean? We've tried to tell you now for quite a while, but I mean, fucking some of these zombies just won't accept the truth when it's told to them. So, here's a very detailed explanation of what the fuck's going on here and what the New World Order is, who's involved, how it's being done. It's full shebang here, to be honest. I've only watched half of this video, but I got halfway through and thought, this guy's done his fucking homework here. He's this guy has done his fucking homework. So, this is what's happening. This is literally what's happening. This is the plan. This is the New World Order. This is why everything's getting worse and will continue to get worse because you will own nothing by 2030 and you'll be happy about it. So, again, the Economic Forum, the fucking Agenda 30, the fucking United Nations, fucking. It's all out there. It's absolutely all out there, you know what I mean? Again, in my opinion, you've got to be fucking retarded not to know what's going on in 2026. You really have. You've got to be retarded. Oh, you're a zombie. You know what I mean? We're trying to change that, help you out here, but well, you will fucking walk blindly into the night. It would seem that's the zombie mantra. So yeah, this is literally what's happening. I'm gonna play it now. Shut the fuck up. I won't talk much through it because it's quite long. I won't play it all, but I'll get to a certain. I'll maybe go halfway or something. We'll see where we are. I'll try not to talk too much though. Again, just this is what's happening. You know what I mean? And again, spread this video, not necessarily mine, the Hidden Hand video here. Spread it far and wide. If you want a future here, and if you want to fucking live, then you need to fucking act quickly, real quickly indeed. But it could even be too late. The World War III started. The economies are fucked. These people own everything, and can collapse anything they want when they want. So let's have a listen to this. This is how fucked we all are.
out who is causing all the issues across the EU and the globe. How the same oppression is being seen in France, Germany, the Netherlands, Ireland, Greece, Spain, Italy, and the UK. The same replacement of local inhabitants while a two-tier system is prevalent. Why all the governments coincidentally are acting in the opposite to the benefits of the people? These are some of the things I have found out. I am not telling you what to think. I am just asking questions, and you make up your own minds. If I moved to your country, opened a company with 5,000 employees, then hired nobody from your country to take all the salaries, would you be okay with that? What if I told you the City of London financial sector is 43% foreign-born? Auxiliary financial services in London, 80%. Food manufacturing, 40%. But I am sure they looked really hard for local candidates for about 3 seconds. If I bought every house on your street, then rented them back to you at double the price, would you call that investment or would you call that conquest? Qatar owns 12.4 billion in London real estate. China Investment Corporation owns chunks of your water supply. Abu Dhabi owns parts of your airports. But we call them investors because conquest requires paperwork and investors just need a checkbook. If your government spent £8 million a day on hotels, would you assume it was for a really good conference? That is what the UK spends housing asylum seekers per day. £3 billion a year on hotels, 4.7 billion total on asylum support. The UK spends 3 times more per asylum seeker than any other European country. 3 times. And who profits? As we have pointed out in detail in a previous video, Clear Springs, Mears and Serco have made hundreds of millions. Contracts that started at 4.5 billion are now worth 15.3 billion. The shortage that creates the problem pays the people managing the problem. Funny how that works.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. But yeah, again, I've mentioned this all the way down the line. Never mind that the migrants bringing in diseases and raping women and children. This is costing us an absolute fortune, and ultimately down the road, it makes us a lot poorer because of the printing endless money to give to foreigners. It makes us poorer each, individually, we're poorer because of these events, because of what they're doing. Again, I mean, fuck me. I am surrounded by zombies. I honestly am surrounded by fucking idiots and zombies. Because this has been going on for fucking our entire lives. I've known about it for nigh on 20 years. And you try to tell these fucking zombies, and they're all fucking stupid, to be honest. And we're all fucked. I mean, that's the bottom line here. We're all fucked. We've run out of time. Do you know what I mean? The zombies have literally done us in here. So, yeah, about £8 million a day for hotels, bringing in the foreigners in on purpose. It's all part of a plan. It's all part of a massive plan, you know what I mean? I mean, 3 times more money to fucking on asylum seekers than anybody else. Again, we've got a big fucking flag up that says hotel to foreigners right around here. Except the British people are too fucking stupid to notice, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's fucking a shit show, the likes of which you've never seen. Honestly, I don't use them words lightly, even though I use them quite a lot. It is a shit show, the likes of which you've never seen. And most people still haven't seen it, you know what I mean? Despite it going on around them all the time, them getting poorer, surrounded by fucking foreigners here, the country's being taken over. And these people walk blindly into the night. So, fucking zombies, as we mentioned there. So, yeah, it's a fucking shit show, honestly. It's a shit show. We'll carry on, it gets a bit deeper.
Office for Budget Responsibility says family visa applicants have a lifetime fiscal deficit of £109,000 per person. If the government adjusted public services for the actual population, they would need 6.1 billion more per year. They know the numbers, they publish the numbers, they continue the policy. Can you guess which country sends the most asylum seekers to the UK? I will give you a clue. It is the same country that just deported 1.9 million Afghans in 7 months because they said they could not cope. Pakistan, 10,542 asylum claims in 2024. They mass deport refugees while being the single largest source of people claiming they cannot go back. If you tried to explain this to someone with a straight face, you would pull a muscle. If your food prices went up 50% in 3 years, while the supermarkets posted record profits, would you think that was supply and demand, or would you think maybe this was planned all along? Same with energy, same with water, same with rent. Everything goes up, profits go up, wages stay flat, and every single time they blame something else, inflation, war, weather, anything except the people setting the prices. If you posted about any of this online, what would happen? The Twitter files revealed government agencies flagging content for removal. The EU Digital Services Act requires platforms to remove content within hours. The UK Online Safety Bill makes platforms responsible for legal but harmful content. The World Economic Forum runs a trusted news initiative to help platforms identify reliable sources, meaning sources they approve of. In 2024, over 40,000 accounts were referred to UK police for social media posts. People have been arrested for memes. The definition of harmful keeps expanding. The definition of acceptable keeps shrinking. But I am sure they will tell you what you did wrong after they arrest you. Now here is the interesting part. This is not just the UK. France has riots in the streets, Germany has protests, the Netherlands had farmers blockading highways, Ireland has marches against policies nobody voted for, Greece still has not recovered from what was done to it a decade ago, Spain and Italy have youth unemployment that in previous centuries would have ended with heads on spikes. Same pattern, same policies, same timeline, all within the same 3-year window. Left-wing governments, right-wing governments, coalition governments, does not matter. They all do the same thing. They all ignore the same public opposition. They all act like the voters are an inconvenience rather than the point. If one country did this, you would call it bad governance. If every country does it simultaneously, you would call it coordination. But we are not allowed to call it that, so I am just asking questions. Let us start with a document. In March 2000, the United Nations Population Division published a report called Replacement Migration. That is their title, not mine. It covered France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Korea, Russia, the UK, the US, and the whole of Europe. The projections for the EU were as follows. To maintain population size, 47 million migrants needed. To maintain working age population, 674 million migrants needed. That is not a typo. 674 million people to a continent of 450 million. They convinced women that they should have to work as well as men, doubling the labour pool. Now force people to work most of their lives for no reward. They could just pay people enough money so that a single income could support a family, or reduce working hours and improve conditions so people can have families outside of their stressful jobs where their employers steal all the money, or they could destroy the world for profit. We all know how this ended. The UN themselves said these numbers were, and I quote, entirely out of line with both past experience and reasonable expectations. So even the people who wrote it thought it sounded insane. They published it anyway. Now the EU says they never use this document. And actual migration just happened to follow the same trajectory, purely by accident. 17 accidents. That is not a pattern, it is a process. So that is the framework. That is what was discussed at the highest levels in 2000. Now, let me show you who was doing the discussing. You know how when you lose your job, the government does not give you £10 billion and tell you to carry on? Funny story. That is exactly what happened to the banks in 2008. The banks collapsed because of decisions made by the banks, so central banks printed money. They called it quantitative easing because money printing sounds too honest. They bought bonds and financial assets. Prices went up. Now here is the joke. The wealthiest 10% own 89% of stocks. So when you pump trillions into financial assets, who gets rich? If you guess the wealthiest 10%, congratulations, you understand economics better than anyone pretending not to understand it on television. The ECB admitted QE primarily benefited the richest 20%. 40% of UK asset gains went to the wealthiest 10%. Even Theresa May said, people with assets have got richer, people without them have suffered. She said that out loud, on camera. Then everyone carried on as if she had mentioned the weather. At the same time, UK austerity cut 30 billion from welfare, housing and social services. And here is what nobody talks about at dinner parties. The London School of Economics found 190,000 excess deaths. The University of Glasgow found 330,000 excess deaths. The Royal Society of Medicine found 30,000 deaths in 2015 alone. That is not a policy disagreement, that is a body count. If you or I killed 190,000 people, they would make a Netflix documentary and we would never see daylight again. When the Treasury does it, they call it fiscal responsibility and give themselves a knighthood. And here is the detail that makes it art. Pensioners were largely protected. Pensioners vote Conservative. Working age adults lost up to £914 per year. Working age adults were the ones dying. They calculated whose lives to protect based on voting patterns. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is electoral mathematics with a body count. Greece got it worse. The Troika imposed cuts equal to 32% of GDP. GDP fell 25%. Unemployment hit 30%. Suicide rate up 35%. The Committee for the Abolition of Illegitimate Debt found it was actually a private debt crisis, not public. The programme rescued French and German banks. Greek citizens paid with their lives so Deutsche Bank could have a good quarter. But at least the spreadsheets balanced. Christine Lagarde ran the IMF at the time. She now runs the European Central Bank, attended Bilderberg, attended Boao Forum. When you oversee a country's destruction, apparently that counts as job experience. Failing upward is an art form, and she has a master's degree.
Yeah, so, sorry to interrupt again, but yeah, like all these people, I've mentioned this before, they just get passed round. It's like Erica Kirk in a way. And now she'll be passed round and put in high positions in different places because she's part of the clique. That's literally what happens. These people get passed around, and like Mark Carney in the Bank of England, all these people that are in the club, kind of the Epstein file people as well, to be honest, all in this satanic fucking paedophile fucking network as well, all the same people. Yeah, again, Bilderberg's mentioned there, again, all the things that I've kind of mentioned before, the economy's getting a mention here, and now it's all a fugazi, and fucking quantitative easing, and printing money, again, the never-ending printing money, everything I've said, you know what I mean, but it's in real detail here, with a lot of the backing, the evidence and the facts, you know what I mean, again, I spit it like it is, and just tell you the job's fucked and it's bagwash here. We're surrounded by zombies, and everybody's stupid, and we're all being fucked over by the global elites. See, it didn't take me 37 minutes to say that, but we don't have quite the detail in there, you know what I mean? So I will continue on here.
Now, let me tell you about nursing homes. Private equity discovered old people are profitable if you stop caring whether they live. A study found PE ownership caused 20,150 excess deaths over 12 years. Mortality rates 10% higher. During COVID, infection rates 24% higher, death rates 10% higher. The business model is elegant. Buy a nursing home with borrowed money. Sell the real estate and lease it back. Cut staff until nobody answers the call button. Pay yourself dividends. Declare bankruptcy. Move to the Hamptons. 20,000 people died. Published in peer-reviewed journals. And nothing happened. The executives got bonuses. The funds are still operating. But somewhere right now, someone is getting arrested for stealing bread. Equal justice under law. So who makes these decisions? Let me introduce you to some clubs you have never been invited to. There is a place called the Bank for International Settlements. Never heard of it? That is by design, founded 1930. 63 central banks are members. 95% of world GDP. The Federal Reserve, Bank of England, ECB, People's Bank of China, even the Central Bank of Russia. Enemies everywhere else. At BIS, they share fondue. The governors meet every 2 months in Basel. Sunday evening, 7 p.m, inner circle only, then dinner. And here is the thing, they are immune from national law, completely immune. No government can subpoena them, no court can touch them. If Batman showed up to investigate, they would offer him a croissant, explain his jurisdiction ended at the lobby, and have Swiss guards escort him back to Gotham. Meanwhile, the central bankers decide your mortgage rate over dessert. The Legion of Doom at least met in a swamp. These people do it in a 5-star Swiss hotel with diplomatic immunity. Lex Luthor wishes he had this kind of setup. Then there is Bilderberg, founded 1954. About 130 attendees, chaired by Henri de Castries, former AXA CEO. Total secrecy under Chatham House rules. Imagine a conference room full of bald men stroking white cats, except the cats are sovereign wealth funds, and the stroking is deciding which country gets austerity next. That is Bilderberg. Dr. Evil would feel underdressed. Dennis Healy was on the steering committee for 30 years. He said, to say we were striving for a one-world government is exaggerated, but not wholly unfair. That is like playing pin the tail on the donkey, except the donkey is painted floor to ceiling across your living room wall. You have had 5 shots of tequila, been spun around 20 times, and you still hit the exact 0.1% where the tail belongs. 30 years inside, and that is what he admits. On the record, every single ECB president attended Bilderberg before being appointed, every one. There is apparently an interview process nobody told European voters about.
Yeah, there is no democracy. Again, it's the illusion of democracy. The Bilderberg Group, mentioned it many a time. Again, it's not something a lot of people are aware of. The Trilateral Commission, the Club of Rome. I mention these things all the time because people seem to think the Freemasons are controlling the show here. And it's not so much the truth, do you know what I mean? They've got multiple clubs and round table groups and secret societies, like the Fabian Society as well, there's another one. Plenty of these clubs, Bilderberg Group, Fabian, it's endless, it's fucking endless. The list is endless of these clubs and round table groups that all of these people are in and sold us out for the New World Order. And as I've mentioned, when we get to the New World Order, when you will own nothing and be happy, these people will own everything and be able to do what they want, go where they want, act how they want, fucking probably rape countless fucking children like we found out in the Epstein files there and get away with it scot-free for forever. These people will run amok even more than they do so now when they get absolute total control, which is what they're aiming for. They haven't completely got it yet. We're making the final moves now with World War III and the collapse of the economy, as I keep mentioning and have mentioned for quite some time here. So, yeah, I mean, this is your future. This is the plan, you know what I mean? This is the future. You will own nothing. You will be happy about it because, well, you'll still be alive. It's why you'll be happy. You've survived World War III and an epic economic collapse here. Fucking meningitis, you name it. You've managed to fucking walk through the jungle here. And you've survived, so you're quite happy about that, I would imagine, yeah. But you got fuck all now, nothing at all. And your entire life is fucking decided by these people, who are all satanic paedophiles. This could go wrong. This could go real wrong here. I mean, just does anybody want to sort this out? Are we going to watch football? Should we go on TikTok and do a couple of dances there, possibly? I don't know. Like, watch the football. I don't know. I don't know what you do about this. Maybe we should act. Maybe we should act, you know? Yeah, fuck knows. So, yeah, this is the plan. This is, again, everybody's fucked, to be honest. You're absolutely fucked, because nobody's willing to do anything about it. And these people run the world, and they're going to run it into the ground with you. Again, if you listen to all the excess deaths in fucking care homes and etc., and people on the streets and homeless and you name it, because the economy is collapsing around us, you will own nothing and be happy by 2030. So the thing is as well, you've been told, the public have been told this for a long time. They've literally been told. But they're stupid. They are zombies. They are stupid. So we're fucked here. That's why we're fucked, because we're surrounded by stupid people. So I'm not happy about it. You know what I mean? I'm not one of these stupid people. I wanted to do something about this and fix the world for the good of the people and the good of the peasants here. For nearly 20 years. Nearly 20 years. But we're surrounded by zombies, and the fucking zombies just fucking, well, they've got no fucking brains, have they? So we're absolutely fucked here, to be honest. Again, unless people want to. This is why I'm putting forth this little video here, because ultimately this is the crack. You know what I mean? All the details here. He's telling you the names. He's telling you the club names. It's all there. It's all documented as well. But again, the zombies don't bother to go and look at any of this. Just as long as they get to watch the football and do the TikTok dances here, there's no stopping the plan. So yeah, again, he's mentioning all the players and the movers. Again, all the things I've mentioned here, the economy and the fucking printing of money and the Bilderberg Group, and all been mentioned, all absolutely been mentioned here. The Economic Forum, you name it. So yeah, and it's all, again, those people think they're above the law, and it's their plan for the world, and they run the world again. So why everyone's fucked, to be honest. Again, it'll become more apparent as we go down the road. Yeah, as everything gets steadily worse. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So we're 14 minutes in. I'll play a bit more here. We're getting to the movers and the shakers here in the European bullshit. Hold on.
Democracy is wonderful, but have you tried being pre-selected by billionaires at a ski resort? Recent attendees include Eric Schmidt from Google, who advises the Pentagon, Peter Thiel from Palantir with CIA connections, David Petraeus, former CIA director, Mark Carney, who collects central bank jobs like stamps. The Trilateral Commission was founded 1973 by David Rockefeller. Jimmy Carter was a member before becoming president, then filled his cabinet with trilateralists. World Bank presidents Robert McNamara, A.W. Clausen, and Barbara Conable were all members. But I am sure they just had good CVs.
Yeah, I'm sure Epstein was on the Trilateral Commission as well. I'm sure that was mentioned.
The Council on Foreign Relations has existed.
It might have been the Council on Foreign Relations. It was one or the other. I'm sure Epstein was on it for a while.
Since 1921. Supplies personnel to state, treasury and defence regardless of which party wins. Red team, blue team, same people get the same jobs. The World Economic Forum meets every January in Davos. All major sovereign wealth funds attend. At Davos 2026, they reached AI agreements with Saudi Arabia and UAE. Nothing says democracy like cutting deals with absolute monarchies while eating gold leaf desserts at a ski resort. Now let me tell you about BlackRock, $11.5 trillion in assets. Run by Larry Fink, BlackRock manages money for China, BlackRock manages money for Saudi Arabia, BlackRock manages money for Abu Dhabi. BlackRock manages money for every major central bank on earth.
Yeah, because again, it's like this war with Iran and Russia and Ukraine. Like there is no at this level, there is no enemies. They're all in on it, and and banks again. He mentioned there, Russia's got a centralized bank. England has fucking Ukraine. I mean, well, we've been through all this to be honest, but yeah, like everybody's the global elites. There is no left and right. I keep trying to explain that as well. Like all this you're seeing on the streets here, the left versus the right, the fucking. It's divide and rule. It's absolutely divide, rule, and conquer. You're too busy fighting with each fucking other on the streets than concentrating on the fucking real problems in the world. The rich people who are fucking running the world into the ground in their plan. You know, you're busy fucking fighting with a load of fucking red-haired people in the street here. You know what I mean? You know, you can beat the fuck right out of that red-haired person, but you're not going to change anything. It will not change the plan of the global elites. So it's all divide and rule. It absolutely is. All this left and right and fucking the migrants and all this kind of crack. Again, I mentioned this before. The migrant issue, again, what people have decided to sort of stand up about really in Britain, is definitely third on the list of problems we've got here. The number one's the fucking the New World Order. Number two's the economy. Sorry, three's probably war and the economy. The migrants are that fourth or fifth down the fucking list here. They really are. And they're all being brought in, the migrants, by these fuckers, you know what I mean? Like, so if you get rid, I've said it before, if you get rid of the global elite, you can pretty much fix every problem in the world. You can have a nice world without wars, without famine, without fucking poverty, without disease and fucking COVID and pandemics and all that kind of bullshit. You can have a really nice world that isn't run by Satanists, but that's not the way of things here. We have a horrible world run by Satanists. And the majority of the fucking public are too fucking stupid to fucking figure out what's going on. So even when you've told them, that's why I'm fucking, you know what I mean? I've 20 years I've known this. And 20 years you've tried to fucking tell the zombies. The fucking stupid people as well that know fuck all. Well, they think they know fucking stuff, but they don't. They know nout. So, yeah, again, and you're watching it happen in real time on the streets of Britain because all these people protesting all the time and putting all their energy into protesting against the migrants and the government. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. This is the problem. These people are the problem. Keir Starmer just works for these people. So it's all kind of come out in the Epstein files as well, to be honest. I mean, the Epstein files has massively proved all this to be true, that all these people are hand in hand and fucking having secret meetings and fucking, it's all getting blackmailed so that they fucking play a ball with Israel here. So, yeah, it's a shit show. Like, honestly, there is no bigger shit show in the entire world than this. And it encompasses everything to do with your life and your future. And I've had to witness this fucking take shape now for nearly 20 years. And it's very frustrating, you know what I mean? It's very frustrating that not only all of our lives, like my life is being flushed down the toilet here. We have no future. And I've had to sit and watch this happen for 20 years while all these people just fucking walk blindly into it, you know what I mean? It's quite frustrating. So, yeah, this is the plan again. This is exactly it. The global elites here fucking controlling fucking Starmer, Jinping, fucking you name it. All these people who pretend to run the world don't run the world. All the people in the Epstein files run the world. The satanic paedophiles here. So don't expect a nice world when it's run by fucking assholes. There's the other side of it, and that's why you haven't got a nice world. You've got the fucking poverty-ridden, war-filled fucking shit show on the go here. So, yeah, everyone was warned, to be fair, but they decided to sit on their hands, put the fucking head in the sand, and do fuck all about it. So you've run out of time, and things are really starting to fucking cook here in reality, aren't they? So, yes, I see petrol's gone up fucking again there. So, food will be going up soon, fucking everything will be going up. So you'll own nothing by 2030 there and be happy. So I will play a bit more.
The UK Labour government announced a partnership with BlackRock. Because obviously. When COVID hit and the Federal Reserve needed someone to manage emergency bond buying, who did they call? Larry Fink. When you need to spend trillions of public money, apparently you call a private asset manager. Makes perfect sense if you have had a recent head injury. BlackRock was the first foreign company allowed to run a wholly owned mutual fund in China. George Soros called that a tragic mistake. China Investment Corporation took a $714 million stake in BlackRock. They also launched a joint fund. Larry Fink manages money for America. Larry Fink manages money for China. Larry Fink manages money for Saudi Arabia. These countries are supposedly rivals, but they all trust the same man with their money. Either Larry Fink is blessed by ancient deities the rest of us have never heard of, or there is a club and he has lifetime platinum membership with valet parking and a reserved table. Now let me tell you about Goldman Sachs. During 2008, Goldman received $10 billion in TARP bailout money, $12.9 billion through AIG, and $34 billion in secret Federal Reserve loans at 0.01% interest. 0.01%. You pay more interest on a library book that is 3 days late. Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson was former Goldman CEO. Bailout czar Neil Kashkari was former Goldman VP. The only Wall Street CEO in the bailout meetings was Lloyd Blankfein, Goldman CEO. Stephen Friedman was simultaneously New York Fed chairman and on Goldman's board. Goldman got bailed out by Goldman's former employees using Goldman's advice with Goldman's CEO in the room. If this were a heist movie, test audiences would say the plot was too unrealistic. Ocean's 11 had more plausible deniability. We cover the revolving door almost every video, so I will just give you the names. But the punchline never changes. They knew they took the money. The Department of Justice said they fraudulently misrepresented. One person went to prison. Goldman is still operating. The executives are still rich. 8.8 million Americans lost their jobs, 3.8 million foreclosures. Median household wealth dropped 39%, but Goldman had a good year, and really, is that not what matters? Now let us go east. If you wanted to design a system where 7 people controlled 1.4 billion, how would you do it? Asking for a friend called China, the Politburo Standing Committee, Xi Jinping, Li Qiang, Zhao Leiji, Wang Huning, Kai Chi, Ding Shuexiang, Li Shi. 7 men, all male, all Han ethnicity. 4 are princelings, children of Mao-era leaders. Xi is in his 4th term. When you have been in power longer than most Western politicians have been awake, you are not a president. You are the definition of a dictator. China Investment Corporation manages $1.33 trillion. Now the world's...
Yeah, I mean, you could say the same for Putin, dictator, fucking Netanyahu. Yeah, there is no democracy. Again, why people believe we've got democracy in Britain now, when the government's been going against the people for at least a fucking year here. And removing your freedoms and fucking digital IDs and online safety acts and fucking you name it, the amount of things that have been done in the background is absolutely unreal. Again, 12,000 people a year. 12,000 people a year are prosecuted in England for writing naughty words on Facebook, or 12,000. Russia is only on 3,000 a year. We're on 12,000. Again, this is fucking communist fucking Germany, fucking Russia here. This is fucking the Gestapo fucking nearly on the scene here, you know what I mean? So, I mean, the truth of it is, if we're going to go into it, but I don't really like to because people get upset. World War II was a shit show. I mean, Hitler had ties to the Rothschilds. That's who funded him, to be honest. So, I mean, there is a rumour that he is a long-lost Rothschild, Hitler and his grandmother. Due to records kept at the time, due to the plague, Hitler's grandmother was in service to a Rothschild in Holland, I believe, possibly in Amsterdam. Again, this is factual record. This has been documented because of the plague. You had to document your slaves basically, and keep a track on what was going on and who was going where. So Hitler's grandmother was in service to a Rothschild, a known paedophile of the time. Like all of these people, known paedophiles of the time. She was 15-year-old when in service to the Rothschild in Holland there, and went back to Austria at the age of 16 because she'd fell pregnant in the service of the Rothschild. And it's not like modern days where you'll work and then go out on partying at nights and stuff. You're a slave full time in the house there. So there was a a good situation to suggest that she perhaps got pregnant to the paedophilic Rothschild, and that Hitler was in fact a long lost Rothschild 2 generations down, is a rumour that's been surfacing for a long time. I've known that for a long, long time. There is slight back into it. Again, the records do exist of Hitler's grandmother being in service during the times of plague to a Rothschild in Holland. So, yeah, these people, again, and that's as well how they do it. They maybe leave it a generation, but they know that ultimately that's a Rothschild or a Rockefeller. They haven't got the same name, obviously. They don't share the name, but by blood, they're in the clique here. So you go and take them and get them, put them where they want to be. And again, questions are asked as how Hitler got to his rise to power. Well, perhaps he was helped, like all the people in the background we see in modern times, like Keir Starmer and Tony Blair, etc. And the answer is that's exactly what happened. And this has been this whole show that you're witnessing here, and what you're being talked about. It's gone on for a very, very long time. To be honest, I've mentioned this. It's over 100 years old. This plan. You can go back to the start of the Federal Reserve and the Bank of England, and when they were incepted, to understand how long this plan is. Again, the Federal Reserve happened around 1915, 1916, in that sort of region. Actually, after the sinking of the Titanic, 3 people on the Titanic, the Astor and 2 other people, I can't quite remember the names. The Federal Reserve only came about because the Titanic sank, and the people who were against the Federal Reserve died on the Titanic, one of which was the Astor. So, and that was obviously over 100 years ago, the Titanic. So that's how long the economy's gone. That's how long this has been a plan. Yeah, a real fucking long time. I said before, long before all of us were born, this was the plan. So, yeah, they're all in on it, and they're all in the clique, and they're all part of the family, and you know what I mean? It's all this crack and bloodlines, and the royal family kind of prove it with the bloodlines, and they pretend to marry into fucking common stock here, but that's a load of bullshit. Kate is not common stock. So, maybe Meghan is, but fuck, Harry's not going to be king here, and possibly isn't even a fucking royal, the 50-50, whether he's Hewitts, do you know what I mean? So they don't really give a fuck what Harry does, 'cause he's never going to be king. William is, so it's all about William. It's all about William. So, and he'll be king very soon, according to predictions, prophecies here. He will be king for the end of the show here. So expect him in the near future. I don't think it's imminent, but it is imminent, but not it's not tomorrow, but it'll be next year or two, I would imagine. So, we're 20 minutes into this video, we're halfway through. Is everybody sort of getting the gist here of what the fuck's going on? We're being fucked over from up on high, from a great height. You know what I mean? We're being fucked over, all the poor people, the peasants, to live in the rich people's world where we get to do fuck all but be slaves to these wankers, satanic paedophile wankers. So does this sound like a good plan to anybody else? You know what I mean? I've known about this plan for 20 years nearly, and it's never been a good plan. Never. Never been a good plan. And the world just got steadily worse as we work towards it. You know what I mean? So I don't know whether to play a bit more or not. I don't know. I'll maybe leave it. I'll maybe leave. Oh, nah, fuck it. I'll play a little bit more. I don't know.
largest sovereign wealth fund. They own $3 billion in Blackstone, $714 million in BlackRock, 8.68% of Thames Water, $7.8 billion in African mining. They have something called the National Team. CIC, Central Huijin, SAFE, and China Securities Finance. They can mobilize hundreds of billions to manipulate markets. Their stated purpose includes to fight economic war overseas if needed. Fight economic war, their words, published, and we keep doing business with them because apparently economic war is fine if both sides are making money. Every March in Beijing, they hold the China Development Forum at the Diaoyutai State Guest House. Over 70 CEOs attend. In 2025, Stephen Schwartzman from Blackstone, Mark Carney from Bloomberg, Ray Dalio, who Chinese state media called a global authority on China, CEOs of Qualcomm, FedEx, Pfizer, Siemens, BMW, Mercedes, HSBC, Toyota, Deutsche Bank, Eli Lilly, MasterCard, Chubb. The Saudi Aramco CEO announced a $20 billion investment. These are the people who lecture you about values. Then they fly to Beijing to kiss the ring. Then they fly back and lecture you some more. Boao Forum in Hainan province is called the Asian Davos. Xi gives keynote addresses. Past attendees include Bill Gates, George Soros, Christine Lagarde. The woman who destroyed Greece gets invited to discuss economic prosperity. You cannot make this up. You could try, but nobody would believe you. Now let me tell you about the Chinese Super Embassy in London. Royal Mint Court. £225 million. 20,000 square metres. Largest Chinese embassy in Europe. Starmer approved it. Here is the security concern. The site sits directly above BT fibre optic cables, carrying sensitive financial data to the city. A professor said physical access makes interception very easy. The embassy has diplomatic immunity, so the UK cannot inspect it. MI5 is relocating cables. James Bond villains build secret volcano lairs. China just bought property in central London and put it on top of your financial data. More efficient, really. Russia has the Valdai Discussion Club, founded 2004, described as the highest profile Russian equivalent to Davos. Putin attends every single year, personally, not a representative. It is financed by RIA Novosti, state news, sanctioned by Ukraine and Canada. Carnegie called it blatant propaganda. One key figure is Sergei Karaganov, who advocates for preemptive nuclear strikes. Lovely dinner conversation, pass the salt and the launch codes. Now, let us talk about the Gulf. If you wanted to design a country where one man controls everything, you would design Saudi Arabia, then realize MBS already did it better. The Public Investment Fund has up to $941 billion. MBS is chairman of the PIF board. He chairs the Council of Economic Affairs. He is Prime Minister. He appoints all board members. Human Rights Watch said his is the only name needed on the organisational chart. When a human rights organisation describes your governance as a one-man show, you have achieved something. Not something good, but something. When the PIF board voted against buying stocks during COVID, MBS took it to the king. The king issued a decree to avoid governance rules. The governor admitted we worked outside the outlines of governance. Translation, MBS does what MBS wants. The board is decorative, like those fake pockets on women's jeans. In November 2017, MBS detained 11 princes and hundreds of businessmen at the Ritz-Carlton, 100 billion in assets transferred to PIF, including Sky Prime Aviation, whose planes later transported Jamal Khashoggi's killers. He arrested people in a luxury hotel, stole their companies, then used their planes for a murder. Bond villains take notes. Key investments, $2 billion to Jared Kushner, $1 billion to Stephen Mnuchin right after he left Treasury, $300 million for Newcastle United. Kushner gets $2 billion. Mnuchin gets 1 billion.
Yeah, again, Newcastle owned, again, Chelsea, all these football clubs owned by Chinese people, and Man City, and fucking you name it. Again, there's no war at the economic level, you know what I mean? Here's this Kushner as well. He's a big player like in the background here. Yeah, all the players, all the names, all the people. I mean, this is honestly, I'm not going to play anymore. I'll leave the last 12 minutes. Come and watch it on the Hidden Hand and give him a like and a subscribe. Because as you can see, this is a very, very detailed, in-depth video, 37 minutes long. I mean, this is the plan. This is what's going on. Again, he's only got 1,100 subscribers, and for the quality of this video and the information in it, it needs spread far and wide. This man needs more subscribers, because ultimately that's how we fix the problem, by exposing the problems and telling people what the fuck's going on. I mean, and even then, you've got one hell of a fucking fight on your hands. You're going up against the entire global elite here, all the money in the fucking world, as you can see here. And these people have had these plans long in the making. They're not going to give up, you know what I mean? So, as we can see, World War Three has already started there. The economies are broken here. We're right in the shit. Honestly, we've never been more in the shit ever, to be honest. But the average person's fucking head's in the sand and haven't got a fucking clue what's happening here. So I'll leave it there, but come and watch the video. Mary Jane Piper will put the URL in the comments, so you come and watch the rest of the video there. And again, just well worth a watch. Deserves to go far and wide, and this is literally what's happening. And the guy's done the research, man. This is all the people, all the clubs, all the movers and the shakers. Yeah, very, very detailed and in depth. I just don't want to play all of his video because he went to the trouble of making it, you know what I mean? So please do go and give him a like and a view for the video, which will, which will help it get further, you know what I mean? So more people will see it, because again, ultimately, if you want a future, you're going to have to do something about it, and it's going to be one hell of a fucking fight as well. But fighting amongst yourselves here, the left and the right on the streets here over the migrants and all these fucking other issues, is not going to solve anything. You're gonna be fucking absolutely hoodwinked by all these people while you're busy trying to beat that person with the blue hair. You know what I mean? So honestly, yeah, that's what's happening. Everyone's being divided and ruled, and nobody's eyes are on the real movers and the shakers who were doing all this in the first place. Again, pretty much all the people in the Epstein files as well. So a big club, we're not in it, and again, this club's going to fuck us all over if we don't do something about it. We outnumber this club massively, massively outnumber this club, but the people have to figure out the people are the power, not the money. So long await that day. I've been waiting 20 years. Don't see it coming anytime soon, to be honest. So bunker down for Bagwash, because don't expect the zombies to save you here, would be the fucking crack. Bunker down for Bagwash. So anyhow, come and watch the rest of the video. Great video. The Hidden Hand. Only 1,100 subscribers. I mean, I've only got 200 odd, so I mean, it's fucking nowhere near what he needs, you know what I mean? But yeah, but at least if you come and watch the video and give it a like, it'll spread it on the algorithm. We'll leave it there anyway. Here's to Bagwash. Peace.